next one.
Bonjour. Do ghosts need to eat? This is a question. Do ghosts need to eat? Maybe not.
Watch Casper. Did you watch the movie?
Yes. Oh, yes. Can you? And you can see it go down. Yes.
I love it.
That's true. That's reality, right? That's a reality show. So that's
Voilà.
Hello, Maureen. Hello, Madeleine.
Hello.
Yes, a friendly guest.
Yes.
Also, Tracy, Gilles is on. Hello,
Bonjour, Gilles. The handsome Gilles.
Mysterious Jill.
Yes. It's very mysterious.
So it's not that I don't like my hats, but I don't see properly.
Don't worry, the corpse doesn't mind.
Ah.
It's beautiful.
You're right.
Yeah, I love your veil, Maureen.
What do you like, sorry?
Your hat, the veil. Pretty.
Yeah, it's a Halloween hat normally, but I love to wear it when I want.
Oh, I totally agree. I think you should.
So maybe I should introduce myself. So my name is Marine. Well, I love the way it's written with my family name here. So if you want to find me everywhere, you should go for Marine the City. Let me show you that. It's actually my Facebook page, my Instagram account, and also my YouTube channel where I animated actually several. Let me first look for the name of it. Sorry.
I typed it for you in the chat also, if that works.
Okay.
But you should show it on your screen.
Okay.
We'll do the work for you. We'll do the heavy lifting. You just be mysterious and dazzle us with all your knowledge.
So, okay, so then indeed, my YouTube channel is hosting quiz parties that I'm organizing each week on Thursday evening. So it will be 9 p.m. for the French version and 10 p.m. for the English one. You can guess what would be the next topic in my stories on Instagram and Facebook. And also I should share soon new videos on my channel, more and like interesting facts and in a funny way. So Marine the City is the name of all my my social networks.
You're so social. You actually are. You're actually quite social. You are very active in all of this guiding. You're like basically my favorite guide. So.
Oh,
so and I know a lot of guides. Trust me. I love you.
And do you say that to all of them?
I don't think I've ever said it to another. You're the first. The first.
Look, I take off my belt for you.
Oh, beautiful. Do it.
So actually, right, maybe I should add this information. I'm a licensed guide, and I will, when everything will reopen, start again all my activities through the capital of Paris, and also in the suburb of the city. So maybe let's go for some stories.
Yes. Yes.
I just saw this hour. You know, every day I've got these hours popping up like in front of my eyes, 18:04. Because, you know, in France, we count like the afternoon as 13, 14, etc. Yeah. So 18 is 6 p.m. for you, but it always says 18:04. And you might know, maybe, I don't know, in 18:04, actually, this date was Napoleon's coronation.
Oh.
And right. And I've got this feeling to always fall on this special hour from the moment I believe that I crossed the path of Napoleon.
What?
Okay, do tell. Elaborate, please.
So actually, for the first time of my life, I've been invited in Batignolles area. So you have to know it's one of the richest area in Paris. So it was like a very special evening. And I was meeting there one of my great friends I met first in London. And we had a wonderful evening. After what, I had to come back home. But there was a problem with the transport, as it's very regular here.
Yes. That I figured out.
So I decided to walk a bit because I was also feeling very happy to have met her again. And also because it was a very lovely evening, you know, with a nice breath, nice, charming weather. So I walked down and I walk all the Grand Army Avenue, which is next to the Arc of Triomphe. And as I was approaching the Arc of Triomphe, I had something like popping up in my head, like, look at my gorgeous monument. I heard that voice and I was like, who told me that? I was alone in the street and I felt maybe again a bit schizophrenic. But then I looked at the Arc of Triomphe and I thought, yeah, right, it's nice, but you're not still a nice person to me. And I had this person like next to me and explaining me how he wish he could see that from his living time, and how much he wished to be still in Paris commanding things. And we were walking all along the Champs-Élysées Avenue and I was talking kind of to myself. It was so awkward. And and just before I arrived to the Concorde Square, I heard again this voice telling me, take a last glance to it. And I looked at the Arc of Triomphe and suddenly a car crossed just in front of me, you know, and I don't know how you would say, but stop the car. And I was worried that someone would go out of the car and all. But then I realized it was a taxi. And I say, oh, no, thank you. I don't know, I looked lost maybe. But it was like, it woke me up from my kind of dreamy walk. Yes. And I decided then to take the metro. So I walked down the metro station and I arrived in front of, it's called it's not the police of the metros here, agents. And they asked me for my ticket, but as the machine at the beginning didn't work, I just took the one that was open. Right. Okay. So I got a fine.
I was gonna say, which usually means $65, because I know from experience. Yes, that's.
And yeah, and I couldn't get refund. And actually, it was maybe the cost of a taxi.
Oh, it sounds like Napoleon owes you about $65. You need to have another conversation with Napoleon at this point. Shoot, he sent the taxi. He sent the taxi for you, Marie. And you didn't.
I think so.
Yeah. He's used to people obeying him. Then he was upset because you didn't. So there you go. Cool.
So anyway, I wanted to tell you about the last pictures I had the last time behind me. It was a picture from the conciergerie. If you remember, I think I mentioned that. So I'm just checking if everything is open. So I do that faster, you know, if I want to show you stuff.
We're getting good at it. It just takes a little practice.
Right. Just a bit of training and then I'm good.
Right.
So let me show you that. Here we are. Are you in front of the correct one?
Oh. I always like to scope out what else you're going to show us too. So I'm getting nosy.
So I wanted to show you first. So if I do that, do you see it in big?
Just a moment. Sometimes it takes a couple of seconds, but you should.
Do you see it now?
Not yet.
No.
From here, still loading.
Okay. So maybe I should.
can see it. They're small.
Okay, I will do it again because now that I opened it, I got the lesson.
There we go.
So this photo was taken in conciergerie. Last time it was during the night, and this one is during the day.
It looks so scary with the
It really does.
So conciergerie, maybe to do a quick story of the place, it's located on the same island as Notre Dame Cathedral, and it's actually part of what we used to call the palace, the city palace, le Palais de la Cité, which was actually the first location of our kings in Paris. Clovis, the kings of France, who settled also his capital in Paris. So it's in the 6th century, like you see, it's very old, actually settled in this special place. Of course, it's not the same building as it used to be, but it is the exact same location on west side of the island. So after that, we had Philip IV's Handsome, which was...
yes, I remember him. I remember him.
He actually added this part to the palace. This part was then called conciergerie for one good reason, actually. Conciergerie was a place hosting the concierge. So concierge is the one in charge with the keys of the city, but he was also collecting traders' charges because there were traders inside the palace. And also, we believe that he earned money, so he enriched himself with selling candles, which is in French, cierge, cum cierge, so which means Latin mixed with Old French, sounds like with candles. Got it?
Yeah. So he was selling, he literally was making money selling candles. I see. I thought you were going to say bougie. Then you said something else, and then I said, well, I guess I just don't really know French at all. But he's
no, it's just a similar word. Cierge is more religious.
Yes.
In
okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. Yeah, things were a little more simple back then, I guess. It's like.
So then the concierge was living in there, but he wasn't the only one. There were actually thousands of people. Oh, sorry, that's Dougie.
Yeah, let us know. I think he's got something to say too. Dougie.
That's Lincoln.
Oh.
Yeah, I called him Lincoln because he's got the sideburns.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute.
Lincoln the doggy. Oh.
Oh my God, I want to see him.
I know. Listen, at some point you're gonna have to pick up Lincoln the doggy and show us. Okay. We'll get back to that, but we do have to see that.
Lincoln
the doggy.
Oh my God, it's President Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
So,
we'll say goodbye to him at the end also.
Yeah. I don't think he likes the conciergerie though.
Yeah, no, he definitely had something to say about that, a little bit negative.
So the conciergerie is kind of a remain of Middle-Age time. But from outside, it has been a lot renovated in the 19th century, but we still can imagine that the tower respecting the order that it used to be. And there are 4 important towers that you can still see from the banks. So I think I added a photo for that. If, right, okay. I couldn't find, because I tried to pick only my own photos, so right. I couldn't find a photo with the 4 towers, but right. You can still see what it is, sorry, with these 2 towers. So these 2 towers are called the Silver Tower, so the one on your right, and the one on your left is the the Caesar Tower. So they are both hosting different things like Caesar, Caesar, just to remind us that it used to be a Roman palace before becoming the Palace of Kings.
Oh,
And
sure.
it used to be the apartments of the king. And the Silver Tower was hosting the treasury of kings. So it was where you would find the very precious diamonds, that kind of things.
Oh, that was the good one, the good tower. That's the tower you want to go to.
If you walk on a little bit more, you would fall on another tower, kind of similar to this one, but thinner and same size. Well, same size because in 19th century we added another level, but it used to be smaller. It's actually the oldest part from outside of this building. It's dated from then the 14th century,
Oh
and
my gosh.
13 even on the base, even 13th century.
That's incredible. That's incredible to think. And you look at it and it looks so solid. I mean, that's incredible that it's that
That's a
old.
medieval construction, indeed. It looks very thick, and it is thick. It's very large walls, you know, very heavy walls to protect.
Yes.
It was kind of a fortress to protect against fighters or someone who would try to get in.
Yeah, to get the king and get the jewels, of course.
Right. So then you have this small tower that used to be called, that is called the Tower Bombec. So Bombec, if you want to translate, so do not mistake with the slang word in French, Bombec, which is a candy, but with the old French, which was meaning good bec. Good bec, bec was mostly assimilated to the face, to the mouth of someone. So a good bec is someone who is able to speak very loud.
Oh.
So why is that?
How do you spell this? I feel like I need to know.
Bombec.
Is it like beak? Like Bombec?
Bombec. B-O-N-B-E-C.
Ah.
Like bec, you know. So then Bombec, it's actually the place that used to host the torture room.
Ah.
Oh.
Right.
Ooh. Well.
So that would explain why then we would hear people shouting from this tower, people screaming.
Oh, that's kind of creepy. Now it went creepy. Now it went a little scary and creepy. Okay.
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Right.
Can you imagine you're Parisian, you're just walking and you just can hear this. Times are different, thankfully.
So now let's go inside conciergerie. When you go inside, you will discover the first big and amazing room, which is still from medieval time, Middle Age. It's a remain that we managed to save because it suffered a different fire. And it's actually what we call the gendarme room, or if you want, the armed men room. So gendarme in French, it's actually in one word nowadays. Gendarme is a military policeman. But because then we had armed people, so gendarmes, so men who would carry a gun or carry a weapon, they were actually hosted in this special room that become then a refectory for them, and they would also sleep in there. It's thousands of people that used to be hosted there to protect the king and also the citizen, and of course to watch over the citizen as well. So
Sure.
it's the origin of our military police, and also first policemen in Paris.
And we're still talking about the 1400s, I guess, 15.
Correct. Yes, and then it also spread in years, you know, in centuries as well.
Yes. This is a huge build. I mean, I'm seeing this part, and I'm not familiar with this part, but the conciergerie is huge. Yes, I mean it's a huge building. Okay.
It does, yes. It used to be at time of kings. I mean, like as large as the island itself. So you would have both sides with the river, and in the middle, this huge construction. Nowadays, it's known to be the Justice Palace, and you will still find the Saint Chapel. and also then the conciergerie that turned to be a museum nowadays. But actually, who changed the Palace of King, who decided to live somewhere else? It's Charles V, who was almost killed in there and preferred to run away from the island and decided first to settle in St. Paul Hotel or mansion, and then to move to the fortress of the Louvre. So it is how he abandoned the palace of the city. And in there, he turned it as a prison. The conciergerie became a prison from then. So a prison that actually saw many famous people. For example, Ravaillac. Ravaillac is the one who killed Henry IV. And he was taken to the conciergerie to be tortured. So we're in the 17th century, right? Yes, I'm good. 16th, I'm good.
Give or take a few hundred years.
And he was taken to the conciergerie to be tortured. So what happened? Would you like to know the details?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was burned at the right hand. It's because, he made a regicide, and that's the hand that he used to kill Henry IV. Then after that, that's a bit horrible.
Yeah.
They pulled his teeth out.
Oh. Oh.
Right.
With no anesthesia, I'm sure. Oh, that's terrible.
But it is not finished.
No, of course not, because why would it be? Okay, go ahead.
Needed more. So they poured boiling lead on his head.
Oh my God. Oh, that's evil. That is.
Right. And after that, just to make sure everything was over, he has been quartered.
Oh.
Right.
Wait, what was that last one? Quartered?
Quartered. When you
pull you.
pull the whole body.
Oh, no.
I hope he was dead by then. That's horrible.
Right.
Yeah. I bet he was with the lead all over his head, though.
That may have done it. That just may have done it. Oh, yeah, Maureen.
Right. But he killed the king, and what we call crime de lèse-majesté after 1 century after that, it's actually the worst thing ever. So that's why also he suffered so many torture. Well, many other torture were not that nice neither, but especially like Middle Age, it's usually very.
I love your choice of words. It wasn't that nice either. Very diplomatic of you, Marie.
Yes, you try to, diminish. So another person who has been imprisoned to the conciergerie, who we call La Caligaï. La Caligaï, she is actually a French courtier of the Queen Mary of Medici, and she is also from Italy. So this woman was married to the favorite of Mary of Medici, and his name was Concino Concini. He was also one minister of Louis XIII. So when Mary of Medici was kicked out of Paris because Louis XIII was feeling very scared to lose his crown, so Concino Concini, was arrested and executed, and then his wife was taken to the conciergerie to be tortured as well.
Oh no.
So torture was a method as an author to actually get the truth, So they would torture the poor person to extract the reality, the real answer. Did you do that? Right, I did it. Stop it.
Yeah, at some point you're saying anything just to get them to stop, but I feel like they probably still didn't even stop then.
Of course, yeah. So La Caligari actually suffered of epilepsy crisis, but at this time, you know that epilepsy was believed to be like demonic possession, like she was, she kind of had a pact with Satan, or maybe possession.
Sure.
So she did a lot of exorcism, and actually Mary of Medici paid her to take part to the show. So she earned a lot of money from that. But then when she was judged in the Palace of Justice, she was she got like judged guilty as someone who bewitched Mary of Medici. And for that, then she was beheaded first, and then she has been burned. Right.
Oh my gosh. I just like feel like if you get close to anybody in that position at that time, you're a number. And at some point you're going, like, they're going to find something that you've done wrong, and you're out of there. You're out of there. And in that unpleasant way, not so much. So I have a question. Elias is asking, he wants to know if they have tours where you can do overnights in these places, like you can stay late at night, or if they ever tour overnight.
Sometimes they would organize special visits of the place, like they did with the ghost of someone that I'm going to talk about, and also some kind of creepy stories inside. This place is amazing. There are not so many visitors, though. It's not as a Louvre or Versailles, but it should be, really.
Yes.
Well, it's amazing place. So as a prison, and now I'm going to show you that. As a prison, it was one of the most important prisons during the French Revolution. And I wanted to show you a few stuff, like a door that if you ever go there, you would be able to enjoy like this kind of stuff those photos have been taken inside the museum. So it's a door of one of the cells. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. It looks extremely tiny.
It's small, this one, but you have a bit bigger ones, but it's mostly bright, like very small. It's very still medieval in a way, looking very old. So actually, I wanted to show you something else. So person that was imprisoned during the French Revolution and that you should know about, it's this person. Right. Did I? No, I didn't. Sorry, a bit slow. Right.
That's okay.
So could you guess, you have like the letters written in the middle of these gorgeous stained glass windows. Can you guess the name? You would see a M mixed with a A.
M-A, okay. I don't know how I figured that out.
Do you know someone?
M-A. Marie Antoinette.
Yes. Yeah.
Marie Antoinette. Indeed. She was imprisoned with her husband in the Temple prison. And when he was executed, it was in January 1793.
That's my birthday. Ooh.
That's your birthday?
Well, not 1793, but the January 17th part. Sometimes I feel like the 1793 is, but wow. Okay. All right.
31st January. Well done. Okay. So actually, she stayed there a little bit. She was in a cell with Madame Elizabeth, so it was her sister-in-law, and also her daughter, who we called Madame Royale. So Royal Madame.
Oh.
So in the night in August, I mean in 1793, guards came to pick Marie Antoinette, to wake her up in the night and to transport her in conciergerie alone. So she would leave behind her these two ladies. and she was installed in a cell especially made for her, which was quite big. But after that, in September, there was a scandal. The Carnations plot. The Carnations plot. It's when a knight came to visit her. So it's a bit story with no real fundament. You know, we are not 100% sure of what happened exactly, because we believe that everybody lied during the judgment of that. But anyway, the Knight of Rougeville came to visit Marie Antoinette, and he dropped a carnations flower on the ground. And apparently it was a secret message to let her know that they could escape, which what happened. She tried in September 1793, but it failed because one of the policemen recognized who was what was happening. So they arrest everybody, but there were, we believe, a lot of corruption, a lot in cahoots, you know. That's turned this situation as, okay, we need to do the judgments of Marie Antoinette quickly. So on the 14th of October, 1793, so like you see, 1 month after she tried to escape, they started the judgment, and it took 20 hours to judge, you know, at the tribunal. They started to tell that she would be guilty of incest on her son, which was horrible for Marie Antoinette. And as far as we know, she wouldn't do such thing, but they would provide that as a proof. And also they mentioned she was squandering of, squandering the nation funds. So it's half true, half wrong. Well, but it's kind of true, because indeed the money of the queen was the money of the nation. And also that she had contact with the enemy, and she made conspiracy. So it was all the charge against her. And after 20 hours of debate, they told the verdict, which was death. Oh. So in the early morning on 16th of October, they took Marie Antoinette out of her cell, and from the courtyard of May, which is just in front of Palace of Justice there, she took a coach that will take her to the place of revolution where she was beheaded. Right.
They did not waste time.
Wow.
Wow.
And it said that the last word she would have said is sorry to the executor, because she kind of was a bit clumsy, and she said, "Oops, sorry."
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Well,
that's awful.
people at this time killed the queen, that they for many years were criticizing her for anything she would do. She was shown as someone who would got a lot of boyfriend next to the king, you know. So she was like in the public spirit, how people would see her, she was like the worst queen ever.
Oh, but she just became a pariah. I mean, she was reviled. Nobody had a thing to say.
Right. So that was the story of conciergerie. And so I see the time. Maybe it's time for what we do. Maybe I should share quickly another fact, and we do the card readings.
Tarot card reading, yes.
Yes.
Anyone want their
quickly, fact? Does anyone in the audience want their cards read, their tarot cards read?
I'm on Facebook. I can see
it
here.
In the chat if you have a question.
Yeah. Let's see. of course, I have to type it because they're a little bit, they're about 10 seconds behind. So, oh, I do. I have somebody, Elias wants to. Oh.
Okay, go for your question. So should I do card readings or should I
Maybe not? I have somebody else too. I have two. We have Kathy and then Elias too. So I'll ask him.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Kathy is saying let Elias do it.
Aww.
She's gotten hers done before.
Aw, Kathy, that's
so
really
let Elias go first.
All right, let's see what his is. Did you have, now I'm thinking, did you have another story too? And I want to have a story and.
Yeah, if you want, I wanted to share with you that quick fact regarding.
Yeah, because it'll take, the Facebook is 10 seconds behind. So it'll take, by the time he types it then.
Okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
So those are the ironworks that you would find on the portails of Notre Dame, the cathedral. Well, right now it's not visible because it's all protected because of the renovation. You can, since few days, access what we call the parvis, the courtyard in front of the cathedral. So regarding those gorgeous ironworks, they were executed in the 14th century. Right. And it's actually canons who wanted locks to their portals, who requested a locksmith called Biscornet to work on that. The man, when he saw the amount of work and the importance of the job, started to be a bit scared of that. And it is said that he would invoke the devil to help him. So then what happened? Actually, I think nobody really knows. The next day, when the canons went to the forge of Biscornet to pick the work and to place it on the doors, they saw Biscornet unconscious next to his forge. So what happened? Actually, Biscornet woke up and everybody saw then the masterpieces he made. Those gorgeous iron works were amazing. We had never seen such things before. And even Biscornet is surprised and terrorized by the fact he made it. He didn't remember. So then they went to install those ironworks on the doors of Cathedral of Notre Dame. And it was only for the 2 portals on the sides. If you know the front, the occidental front of the cathedral, you know there are 3 portals. The middle one didn't welcome any of them because Biscornet did only ironworks for the 2 doors on the sides. So they added it, but then they couldn't open the doors anymore. So what was going on? So actually, they had to throw or to bless them with holy water. And then the doors would be able to reopen. So Biscornet, it sounds like Biscornet, which could also remind us of etymology meanings like twice cornu. Cornu means like the devil, how you call the thing on the head?
Horns,
right.
Like double horns.
So double horns mean then that you had a terrible pact with the devil. But at this time, in 14th century, there were also a lot of workers, like hand workers, who would have this name, this family name, Biscornet. So it's actually possible that this story happened. And in the 19th century, when they renovated the Cathedral of Notre Dame under Viollet-le-Duc and Lassus, they charged Pierre Boulanger, a very good locksmith at this time, to renovate those ironworks. It took 12 years to figure out how it was made. And then he could provide with, so 500 kilos. I think I checked for how much it gives in pounds.
1,000 pounds or something, or is it 250? Okay, I can't remember sometimes if it goes the opposite direction.
No, you're right. It's 1,102 pounds of iron to provide 10 pieces of those masterpieces. And he made quite similar job, but very gorgeous as well. So he renovated the part of Bisconnet, but also added on the middle portail. So that was a Bisconnet adventure of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So now let's go for the readings.
Okay.
So what's the question?
Is he going to have a career in working with marine animals or sharks and things like that?
You mean me as an animal?
Is he likes marine animals? Yes, very funny. And especially you. That's a good question then, right? That's a perfect question.
So does he like Lincoln?
That's right.
So
like
would you
research with,
so who has the question actually?
His name is Elias.
Okay. So what is the probability that I will be living in Paris? I don't see marine thing.
Oh no, because it's on Facebook. So we have a couple of different, yes.
Okay, so the one on Facebook requested.
Yes.
Try again.
Is he, you just heard your name and went, oh, I don't know. Is he going to get to work? Is he going to be working with, ocean animals and sharks and, he wants, that's kind of what he's interested in. So is that going to be what he gets to do?
And what's his name?
Elias.
Okay.
Are you listening, Elias?
So he's got a project.
Oh, okay.
And his link is like connected to maybe administration or justice, but there's something also in there that is like in link with. So maybe he's got like a very important person next to him, maybe helping him. And I see also that in his work, he is thinking of traveling. I see the strangers. Sorry, I didn't show the cards. That's the strangers, or that's actually the foreigner, or also the abroad. So that is meaning that, and that's a profession, like the work, the job. So maybe he's going to work with foreigners.
Oh, foreigners. All right. I can see that.
And then I've got so 10 diamond and 10 of spades. It means that so that's big change, and that is actually what is happening a bit under the table, like discreetly, or some things that he won't spread all everywhere. It's something quite stayed away from everything else.
Okay.
So the question was, is it going to work with the animals or the ocean? I see that there is something that would make him unhappy regarding a contract. So maybe he will, but then that won't reach his wish. Or maybe he won't at all and he's got something completely different. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It means that it's something that would come with it. Okay. So did I answer well?
I'll ask him and then I'll get back to you, and then all right. All that, there we go. All right. I don't know if we have time. What time? Oh my gosh, no, it's 6:45. Why?
We can answer Kathy's question next time though.
Okay, we will. But I think it's also
thank you so much, Maureen, for all of your stories. It's so spooky.
I will never look at
knowledgeable
procedure again in the same way.
Yeah, I will never see that place the same again. Just like imagining the screams from the torture room.
And Elias, by the way, he said, yeah, that was cool. He said that was cool.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so thank you so much, Maureen, Tracy. Thank you, everyone watching. We on Experience First, we do these live events every day of the week. So if you go on the website to the From Home tab, you will see all the events, and Spooky Scary Stories, which is what you're watching now, we'll have another live event next week with Maureen again. So thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
My pleasure. Have a great time and see you next week.
Brava, brava. Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye, Lincoln.
Bye.
Bye.